the way this is going to come out today is in these claims that are being made by scientists that free will is an illusion. And for fun, we'll call these claims free willusionism. And maybe more importantly for what I'm going to be talking today is that these claims are going mainstream. The media is disseminating and sometimes exaggerating these claims. I want us to consider today how these claims are interpreted by people outside the laboratory walls to see what the illusionists are actually saying and what the implications of that are. But in order to consider these questions, I think we need to lay out the conceptual landscape by reminding ourselves that there are two sets of powers that have been traditionally associated with the idea of free will. And continuing with my silly names, I'll call them SUPs and NAPs. SUPs stands for supernatural powers of free will. Supernatural in the sense that they're above the natural order, exempt from the physical laws that govern, for instance, brain processes. These are the powers that are associated with a libertarian conception of free will. They require that there's indeterministic gaps in the process of decision making and that we have the power to be uncaused causes, not bound by the physical laws. NAPs, on the other hand, the natural powers of free will, are associated with a compatibilist conception of free will that focuses on our ability to deliberate rationally, to make conscious decisions and plans, and to control our behavior accordingly. We've seen these two conceptions of free will. Now we can see how those two conceptions raise three important questions. First, what is it that the illusionists are saying when they claim free will is an illusion? What powers are they talking about? Second, what do most ordinary people think about free will? What powers are they associating with it? And third, what happens when the twain don't meet, when those two conceptions come apart in important ways? The illusionists generally are focusing on the claim that we don't have the supernatural powers, although they're ambiguous about this, and sometimes they talk about not having the natural powers either. Ordinary people think the natural powers are central, and it's less clear what they think about the supernatural powers. And that fact, that the two views come apart in this way, or that at least they're complex and ambiguous in these ways, has the potential to cause problems. These results call for an explanation, especially since the illusionist claims are showing up outside the laboratory walls, and hence if these bad results generalize and hold up, we should worry they could have harmful effects on society. If people believe that free will involves both the supernatural powers and the natural powers, or maybe even some of them just think of it in terms of the natural powers, and if the scientists and the media are informing people that free will is an illusion, and if neither they nor the ordinary people are clear about what the powers at issue are, then it's quite plausible that people may start to doubt their natural powers. I mean, by comparison, if you happen to think that romantic love involves both natural feelings of attraction towards someone plus a connection between immaterial souls, and then scientists tell you love is an illusion, you may come to doubt your feelings of love, even though they might just mean that there's no such thing as a connection between immaterial souls. But the more general point is that even without magical powers to be uncaused causes, we can have the psychological capacities to envision alternatives for action, to deliberate our reasons for them, decide which reasons to act on, and control our decisions accordingly. But if they're neither nuanced nor clear about this, then the way they're interpreted will depend on how people read those claims. And the other connection for today is to the extent that wisdom might be thought to require these supernatural powers, similar problems and misinterpretations may arise from the science of the mind, and similarly we may have to revise our concept of wisdom a little bit, but not eliminate it. So these scientific discoveries might help us see that we need to revise some of our ordinary concept of free will or wisdom, but not eliminate them, that you can have the NAPs without the SUPs. Moreover, and importantly, these sciences can give us more and better information about free will, about how the natural powers work, about their limitations, about how to exercise them wisely, and maybe how to develop them in ourselves and our children.